Hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to IFYL, Inspirations for Your Life. Great to have you here tonight. If you're new to the channel, and you're watching us, then just pick up your phone, launch your smart app on that phone. And once you launch your smart app for your camera, point over the QR code like so, touch the yellow ellipse, and you're on your way. Or you can go to believemeachieve.com if you're listening to our podcast. All right, we have a great show for you. We start on Saturday, we roll all the way through the week, and we finish up on a Friday. Thank you so much, friends, colleagues, associates, for coming back, supporting us. If you're watching us on the replay, 1 a.m., 1 p.m., 2 a.m., 2 p.m., 3 a.m., 3 p.m., 4 a.m., 4 p.m., 5 a.m., 5 p.m., 6 a.m., 6 p.m., 10 a.m., 10 p.m., 12 midnight, 12 noon, or whenever you're watching us, thank you so much for making the choice to have Inspirations for Your Life be a part of your day. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you so very much. Our master topic, how to agree to disagree. We're in series 2, which is our second year, show 17, episode number 3. All right, so let's just get right into this, all right? So when we think about agreeing to disagree, it is it's an idiom basically, because you're trying to save face. You're trying to really not have an argument is what you're trying to do in a polite way. Maybe you could say something like, I'm sure there are better ways for us to be using our time. Because you have to realize, if you're going to fight over a point, like, when is it going to end? Is that point going to be today? Is it going to be tomorrow? Like, what is that point? I don't know. I think that can be a very, very big problem for a lot of people. I mean, that's just the bottom line. And so I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that it's not easy. Okay. When everybody wants to be right, it's not so important to be right, but it is important to be treated with respect and treat others with respect. That is so very, very important. All right. And I know you're probably saying to me, hey, John, this gets a little crazy. In a perfect world, we would just agree, right? We would just agree. Our world's not perfect. It always has to get better and better. But so when we think about that, like in a perfect world, we would just agree. I think that's really cool, because we're trying to let people know that, hey, we don't want to agree. We don't want to argue. We really don't. We just want to solve our problem. That's all we want to do. We want to solve our problem or solve the challenge. And if you can't solve the problem or challenge, then you're going to become, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to become frustrated. That's right. You're going to get frustrated with yourself. And so, how does that work? Well, it works because I think a lot of people, for whatever reason, they think that, they have to be right. They have to be that big alpha male, or if it's a lady, whoever it is, but that alpha person, the person that's always in charge. And again, it's not saying that being in charge is bad. What I'm telling you is that if you do everything like that, okay, in your life, then, people are not going to want to be around you. They're not going to want to be around you. And you might say, hey, John, I don't know, this is getting a little crazy. Is it? It's getting crazy because you don't necessarily know what you want. And when you get into this and say, hey, this is what I want to do, I think that can cause problems for a lot of people. It can cause problems for a lot of people. And I know, ladies and gentlemen, that, not arguing is the best way out. But sometimes people, I don't know, their egos get in the way and they don't want to admit that they're wrong or that they might be wrong, right? Another way of handling this is, let's settle this. Let's settle this is almost, could be fighting terms. But if somebody's with you and let's say it's not working out, then you can say, hey, I know we're not seeing eye to eye. And that's okay. You believe that the fence should be painted white. I believe it should be painted blue. So why don't we just agree to disagree? Well, what color should we paint the fence? I don't know. Paint your side your color, paint my side my color if you want. And that's known as a compromise. A compromise. But what is a compromise? A compromise is something that I feel people don't necessarily know or don't necessarily believe in. Okay. Maybe you're saying to me, hey, John, I don't know if that makes sense for me. And is it because it doesn't make sense? Or is it because you don't want to know the truth? You heard me. I said, you don't want to know the truth. The truth. I got a fortune cookie thing here, and I'm just going to read it. I think it's pretty cool. I always say to you guys, there are no coincidences in our world, right? There's no coincidence. An exciting opportunity lies ahead if you're not timid. Exciting opportunity lies ahead if you're not timid. And so timid means lacking self-confidence, shy, fearful, hesitant, wanting courage to meet danger, easily frightened, timorous, not bold, fearful, and shy. But I think a lot of people don't want to argue. They want to save face. They don't want to have a problem. They just want things to be okay. And they can be if we learn to respect each other. If we learn to respect each other. If we don't respect each other, well, then, of course, there's going to be turmoil. There's going to be confusion. There's going to be sadness. There might be some anger. Remember, when we agree to disagree, we're also not ridiculing the person. We're talking about the behavior. Maybe we're singing a song together, and maybe everyone thinks that um, you're on key, but you don't think you are. It's okay to agree to disagree, right? Or maybe you are doing your best you can at school, your very best, but your parents think you're not really giving your best. They think because you're going and playing with your friends once a week for 20 or 30 minutes that you're sacrificing your schoolwork. I don't think so. I think sometimes unrealistic expectations, or maybe you need some help. It could be the fact that you're very smart, but maybe the teacher's not disseminating the information in a way that gets you excited. Now, you might say to me, John, you know, why does it have to be like that? Well, people in our world always want you to agree. Okay. And other people may want to disagree with you. But when you disagree, it's a lighthearted debate. It's not a World War II, World War III situation. It's a lighthearted debate. You've heard the one we said the other day. I've said more than I know about this topic. It does not mean you have accepted defeat, but you've instead said that you don't have any more knowledge on the matter right now. And there's not a winner. Or perhaps, I've been reviewing all the information you've given me for all the candidates, and there's not one that I feel meets our standards. And so, well, I think this person. Well, I understand that's how you feel, and I'd like to agree to disagree. So, agreeing to disagree is a gentleman's way of saving face, right? A gentleman's way. If you agree to disagree, okay, You want to resolve a conflict. Usually it's a debate or a minor quarrel in a polite manner whereby the parties can tolerate and accept opposing positions. It occurs when all sides recognize that further conflict would be unnecessary, ineffective, or otherwise undesirable and could cause us more loss of resources, whether it be money, time, people, etc. Learning to appreciate and value the perspective of others and where they're coming from and their viewpoint. Even though you may not agree with that, you might be able to just see why they're coming from that point. Agreeing to disagree is self-centered. It's rigid and likely to create a self-fulfilling prophecy because when you withhold your contribution, there's a chance the project won't pan out. But agreeing to disagree gives us the ability to have that freedom. The phrase agree to disagree first appeared, ladies and gentlemen, in print in 1770. It was a memorial sermon preached by John Wesley at the funeral of his rival, George Whitefield. The two 18th century leaders of the Great Awakening had long argued about the theological differences, but Wesley admitted that some doctrines are essential and should not, therefore, be part. So when we have the intention to agree to disagree, I feel that that's going to, thanks for the like, Daniel. I feel that that's going to at least open us up to something that we didn't have before. You know, a lot of people want to just fight. They want to go at it like tooth and nail. Why? Because they need an end, right? We talked about in a game, there has to be a winner and a loser. In a dispute, there doesn't have to be a winner and a loser. There just has to be a way for both parties to coexist. It's a great way to end a conversation. It's a great way to prevent argument. It's a healthy way to disagree. When we debate to win, winning becomes a distracting goal. So sometimes, maybe, there is no winning. I remember in the movie War Games, which you guys remember, the Whopper. You remember the Whopper in the War Games? Remember that was pretty cool. And so stands for War Operations Planned Response. And something very interesting happened in that movie. And that was the fact that when there was this war that they thought was actually going to happen, and it was playing a game, and it was simulating the game. But unfortunately, the computer didn't know the difference between real and pretend, and it was getting ready to launch missiles. And you couldn't just shut it down, because if you did, it would see that as a destruct, and it would carry out its last sequence, which was to launch the missiles. I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it was really interesting because Keating actually wound up having to play this game on the Whopper, and it was tic-tac-toe. And he played it with number player 0, so it would learn from itself. And it played so many different times that it actually shorted itself out. Then it came back on, everything was fine. And the computer said, sometimes, Professor Falcon, the best way to win a game is not to play at all. So maybe the best thing for us to do is not to argue. The best thing for us to do is not to be right. We don't have to be right. What happens when we're wrong? We admit it and we move on. But when we're wrong and pretentious and don't want to admit it, we get all these other verbs attached to us that are not very nice. It's because the ego is trying to overpower the situation and say, hey, I'm the best. I'm God. I'm here. I can do everything. You're not God. You're not the best. You're good, but you're not God. And I think people that understand that are great at debates. And again, a debate is not about being rude. It's about bringing the facts. And once the facts are there, we're able to come up with the conclusion. But sometimes when we debate, we can show the other person that perspective, the perspective that we didn't see with our own naked eyes. Pretty cool. So I think, ladies and gentlemen, you'll appreciate that agreeing to disagree, and we got so much more to talk about, is a way that we as humans can move past the turmoil, can move past the point that, hey, we're at a standstill. What do we do? Right? That's our real problem. Thank you, the English Church South, for your like. Really appreciate that. Agreeing to disagree, whether we're talking about religion, whether we're talking about politics, it's this primal instinct, at least with a lot of males, that they have to always be right. And so if we could just realize that we're not right, but the world still continues, and we learn. And when we learn, we're able to put away the bad feelings or the negative feelings and keep the lesson. See, many people in life that go through a debate, that go through a slight argument or an agree not to agree, they can't do the agree not to agree because their emotions, their heart, it's so entangled that if they put their sword down for 1 second, guess what happens? They're not going to feel good. So that's the reason people get so headstrong. There's no reason for it. Okay, I picked up the wrong paint. I'm sorry. It's my fault. And most people won't care that you picked up the wrong paint, or I picked up diet soda instead of regular soda, or I picked up 2% milk. Just admit it. Mom, I broke the vase. You did? I broke it. I tried to fix it. And then when I was going to bring it to the table and I put the eyes and I saw that they were leaking, I said, I got to tell you, I wanted to tell you, just didn't know when to tell you. I broke the vase, Mom. But when it becomes a heated debate, those are the ones that leave both parties really angry with each other. A debate can be healthy as long as we learn to respect each other. So if I see that something's not going well, hey guys, I see where you're coming from. I see where I'm coming from. And I'm going to agree. Oh, you are? I'm going to agree to disagree politely. And they'll be like, huh? Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I understand where I'm coming from. I understand that you don't see where I'm coming from, and that's fine. I'm going to agree to disagree. We got so much more to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to definitely comment, like, support, love, tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this up with everyone you know on social media. Go to my YouTube channel, John Space E Space MLAY Space Serial Entrepreneur. Look for that key phrase, help keep our content free. Make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, to buy my team and I a cup of coffee, a bowl of fruit, or a savory dessert. Either way, we're going to be grateful for those pennies and dollars. We'll invest into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping, motivational content to empower your life to become even better. Check out all my great content, including my show that's live on the radio, WTBQ. You can get that at believemeachieve.com and learn about that. Check out John's recent articles where I just published something about ChatGPT. Where's our future going? Did you know that ChatGPT can't really handle consciousness and it can't handle feelings? I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. You know, I'll be back tomorrow to share more, because agreeing to disagree is a principle that I think everyone needs to know in their life at one point in time, because we might be wrong sometime and we might need to just save face and do it in a way that makes us feel humble. Have a great night, everyone. Take care and be well.